heart beats just a little faster right now, doesn't it? As they stand alone right now. No cornermen. They're just ready to make the ring walk for the biggest fight that boxing can make.
Blooded Coast, keep your hands up, keep your chin tucked. It's the one and only Ghost with the shadow in the front. Hope you're having a blessed Monday, everybody. We're going to jump straight into it. I am going to talk about Shakur Stevenson and De Los Santos, which is going to be happening on the 16th. I believe that there is big implications in that fight for 135. Co-main event is going to be Conceicao versus Navarrete. Now, for Conceicao, I must start off by saying this guy is in a he has to win this fight, in my opinion. He lost to Oscar Valdez, which was a close fight. Some would probably say a controversial fight. Lost to Shakur Stevenson, and now he's fighting Navarrete. That would be three losses back-to-back. In boxing, that is huge. And but I would give the man a lot of credit for not ducking any smoke. He's not ducking any smoke, but he's got a hard task in front of him in Navarrete, a dude that just will not stop. And we've seen him be able to take a lot of punches, get rocked, and come back. He's able to recover well. So he's in for a tough fight against him. You know, as far as the De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson goes, you know, De Los Santos got a lot of recognition when he knocked out El Rayo. And also in his last fight, he showed that he can box as well as punch. So we put him in the categories like a boxer puncher. He's got knockout power. As far as Shakur Stevenson goes in his power, people tend to put him in the category of Devin Haney, Chris Colbert, a fighter that throws punches in bunches. Now, in his last fight, his first outing at 135 against Yoshino, he knocked him out kind of early and showed that he has some power at 135. But then again, that was against Yoshino. And we will see against De Los Santos how much power Shakur has and if it's really carried from 130. As far as the fight goes, I hear a lot of people say, well, we're going to see Shakur get really tested in this fight and this and that. You know, everyone has their own hypothesis. I don't even know if that's the correct word to be using this. Opinion. My opinion is, I believe Shakur is going to shine in this fight. I believe he has, look, he's got a very tricky style. He's never too far away. He's never too close. He's always within range to hit you, whether it's a jab, whether it's a hook. Good defense, hands always up. His offense is his defense. And that's kind of rare because he will just throw punches just to back you up. I mean, and a lot of his punches are very, very accurate. You know what I mean? And he's hard to hit. That is just a very tricky style. Now, De Los Santos showed that he is a mover and a boxer, but I just think that, in my opinion, Shakur is going to outshine him in this fight and win by a decision. I wouldn't necessarily go with the knockout, but anything could happen. And of course, De Los Santos could shock the world. Now, the implications is what I kind of want to talk about, is that if you look at the implications of this fight, you know, we have Chris Colbert now at 135, who's going to be fighting a rematch with El Rayo. We also have El Rayo at 135. We still got Tank. Of course, we got Shakur. We got Pitbull Cruz. The implications of this is big because I would like, in a perfect world, I would like the winner of the Shakur and De Los Santos fight to fight the winner of the Colbert and El Rayo, and the loser fight each other. I mean, that would just be in a perfect world, but of course, we don't live in a perfect world. But I just think that after this fight, if Shakur really beats De Los Santos the way I have him beating him, or the way I think he's going to beat him, what's next for him? I mean, is he going to fight Tank? Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys been paying attention, but Tank seems a little angry. You know, he's always been on Twitter and always would say some random things, especially when he was arguing with Floyd. He would say some things on Twitter and then kind of like erase it. And now he's been saying some things like, hey, I'm coming to get everything that's mine. All them little da-da-da-da-da gotta see me. You know, referring to Shakur, Devin, Ryan, Tio. He's referring to all of them when he says all of them gotta come see me. I think that Tank is in a position in his career where I don't think we're going to see Tank boxing until he's 40. Okay, I just don't. I see him retiring around 35 maybe. Obviously, money talks, but I think he's at a point in his career where he's like, okay, I got to start getting these fights in. Because if he was to retire tomorrow, Tank's record would be looked at as questionable. Yes, he would be undefeated. He would always be known as a power puncher. Unless you're a Tank fan that defends everything on his resume, the outside boxing world looks at it like, come on, bro, like, you had the WBA baby belt, and I call it the baby belt because that's what it is. You know, you got the regular and you got the super. You know, when you went up to 140 and you fought Barrios, which, by the way, Barrios is a great fighter. Still, at the time, he was the weakest of the champions, man. Let's just keep it a buck, you know? I just think that Tank is in a situation where he wants to fight these guys now. And now that he's totally, I guess, separated, I wouldn't say he's totally separated from Floyd and Leonard, but he's more able to make decisions on his own, whereas before he was held back a little bit. I think we're going to be seeing a Shakur and Tank in the near future. Definitely a Tank and Devin. Even though I've already covered the Devin Haney situation, I feel like they clout chase Shakur. Every time they've called out Shakur, they had a fight lined up. They were probably in camp at the time, which makes me think it's just promotion. But nonetheless, on the 16th, that is a pretty good night of boxing, especially for something that is not a pay-per-view. And so I honestly think, as far as the Conceicao and the Navarrete, I have Navarrete. I believe he's just moved up, right? Yes, he has now moved up to 135, or is that 130? I am not sure. I heard that Navarrete was moving up. I need to double check that. But either way, I have him beating Conceicao, and I just feel like Conceicao is just back to back. Tough fights, man. Tough fights. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to Shadow Ghost. Until next time, I'm out.